While doing research for my last video, I was reminded of something that happened during the North American LCS just a few days ago during Day 2 of Week 7. Phoenix 1 was facing Echo Fox, and Arrow had been picked Ezreal in the first round both games. While Ezreal certainly has been seeing a resurgence after patch 7.4, Phoenix 1's emphasis on getting Arrow to play Ezreal was an interesting choice. Becoming an absolute monster on the Rift, Arrow went 16-3-20 overall. In the end, the pick turned out to be a stroke of genius, and Arrow was free to continue his now 6-game winning streak on the champion. Soon after, a friend of mine sent me a text that kept going through my mind when thinking about Mystic's stats. "Korean Ezreal's, man," he said. "Too good." This got me thinking, are Korean players statistically more likely to perform on Ezreal? Or is it just that people have a preconception of them dating back years? To get started on this, I took a look at the AD carries on the top 3 teams from each region. In the LCK, Bang from SK Telecom, Deft from KT Rolster, and Ruler from Samsung Galaxy. From the North American LCS, Wild Turtle from Team Solo Mid, Sneaky from Cloud9, and Arrow from Phoenix 1. From the European LCS, Sven from G2 Esports, Hansama from Misfits, and Nuclear from H2K. From the LPL, Uzi from Royal Never Give Up, Zet from Edward Gaming, and Mystic from Team WE. And from the LMS, NL from Flash Wolves, On from EHQ, and BB from J-Team. While NL is no longer the AD carry for Flash Wolves, his replacement Betty doesn't have enough data to dig through to produce meaningful results. Similarly, Zet of EDG has no data from prior seasons due to his role swap to AD carry. Hansama has no data for even a single career Ezreal game with any team he's played for, including Misfits. This is a chart detailing the number of times Ezreal has been played in each region by the top 3 teams in the Spring 2017 season. Korea is far and ahead in terms of the number of Ezreal games played, but North America and China are not that far behind. Europe and the LMS combined have a total of 7 Ezreal games played by the top 3 teams. No region has had more than 2 losses on Ezreal. Each player's aggregate win rate on Ezreal in total is about 63.2%. This season's win rate among the same players is a notably higher 68.5%. While the average total kill per game is actually decreased by a factor of 1.17, and the death per game is similar, the KDA ratio has seen a massive spike this season. The average KDA overall is a whopping 7.9 combined, but it's important to realize where this number comes from. Outliers in AHQ's On, who has only played 2 games and didn't die, throw the numbers off slightly. Removing On from the group lowers the average KDA to 6.78. Notably, another outlier exists as well. Arrow is sporting a 13.5 KDA across 6 games played. Since he's played more than the average of about 4 games this season, his numbers bring in the question at hand. Are Korean Ezreal players statistically better? Breaking the players down further reveals some more data. Removing players' current region and regrouping players who have played at least one competitive split for a Korean organization, we can further understand who is truly pulling their weight. For the sake of simplicity, I'm putting Zet in the non-Korea category, even though he has played competitively in Korea as a mid laner. This new group of Korean players has a seasonal win rate of 88% and historic win rate of 75%. Non-Korean players have a seasonal win rate of 71.4% and a historic win rate of 63.7%. Even accounting for outliers in data, the Korean players have a clear record of a higher win percentage with Ezreal. Comparing the KDAs, KPGs, and DPGs for the Korean and non-Korean players, it's apparent that while all regions are skilled with the champion, this season's top Korean players are performing better overall, with a higher KDA, KPG, and lower DPG than their other international counterparts. There may be other elements at play here beyond pure statistics, however. Ezreal has been seeing more popularity over the last few weeks as champions like Varus are banned out in Champ Select. With Jhin a contested pick and lethality on its way out, a vacuum for the new must-have AD carry is still open. Players are more likely to fall back to champions they're comfortable on while they wait to try out other options, and Ezreal is a common choice to lean on given many players' years of experience. The power of Ezreal could also rely on the lanes chosen to accommodate him. Lulu has been a popular pickup for many top-tier support players, and while the lane phase isn't as powerful as something like Jhin Malzahar or Sever Karma, the survivability and safety the lane affords lets the jungle and mid lane have a stronger map presence, coupled with the True Shot Barrage. Arrow, for example, has been able to attain such massive numbers by relying on new support Stunt to keep him safe during scraps and aid during the later stages. Players like Deft, Bang, and Mystic have all made their names by playing Ezreal, and are always able to pull the pick out when their team requires it of them. By contrast, many of the strengths in European and Taiwanese teams lie in their other lanes. While there have been exceptions, generally these regions rely more heavily on their jungler to impact the map more than their AD carry. Players like Yankos and Kakao are able to thrive when their lanes are naturally ahead, and the team will tend to accommodate for this in picks and bans by drafting a stronger 2v2 lane. By simply not requiring the pick as often, other regions have ceded power to the Korean Ezreal players. With future patches looking to change AD and lethality itemization, and with tankier champions looming on the mid-season horizon, it remains to be seen how long Ezreal will be a power pick. One thing is clear, however, Korean players will always be right there to fall back on him when the time comes.